Okay, Jessica, we're live. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you.
Can you hear me good?
Yes.
Everyone, or anyone out there, welcome to another edition of Claim Your Justice Injury Law on Facebook Live. The purpose of these Facebook Live sessions is to provide our Facebook community, our Chicagoland community, and the greater Facebook community with useful information on how to protect your rights, how to claim your justice when you, a loved one, a friend, or anyone else you know is injured in any type of accident that's the result of someone else's responsibility or fault. You could reach us very easily on the internet, on the web at claimyourjustice.com. You can certainly call us anytime at 888-88-KEITH. That's 888-885-3484. You could also email us a question. We'll try and answer you quickly. And we pride ourselves in being accurate and protecting the rights of our clients. And of course, to not oversay it, helping our clients claim your justice. A few weeks ago, we talked about workers' compensation cases. Today, we're going to discuss one finer point of a workers' compensation case. And I'm lucky enough, again, to be assisted by Jessica Wong Barrera. There she is on the split screen with us. And I found this is a useful method for back and forth conversation. It helps the message come out in a little bit cleaner chunks of information. That again, the goal is to help our Facebook community know what their rights are, how to protect their rights, and how to maximize their monetary recovery, how to get the most money when they're injured. Jessica, why don't we start off? Go ahead.
Yes. First question. Several months ago, as you said, you discussed some of the basics of workers' compensation cases. What are those basics?
So the basics are if a person is an employee, not an independent contractor, there are some exceptions there, but if a person's an employee and they're injured while performing their job duties, that is the basic vanilla workers' compensation case.
Okay, and what do you mean by scope of employment?
So by scope of employment, that's one of the legalese type of words that's included. So I said in your answer to the first question, they're injured while doing their job. So the legal term is more along the lines of, was the employee injured during the scope of employment? Basically, we're doing their job duties. So in this case, an employee, for the legalese scope of employment, it is where the employee was doing their job, whether they're working as a laborer, taking pieces of equipment off a conveyor belt, or working in a bakery, putting ingredients into a mixer, or working as a delivery truck driver. If they're doing what they're supposed to be doing to perform their job, then they're working within the scope of their employment.
What is one exception you have seen when an injury would not have been covered by workers' compensation?
So it's almost like a law school question. Thank you for it. And it's a very real life question also. So if someone's deviating from their job duties, and an example that all of us could imagine happening is you have a delivery truck driver. He's out on the road for 6, 8, 10 hours, whatever it is, or she's out on the road making deliveries, and they stop at their boyfriend or girlfriend's house for lunch or a quickie or something like that. And they're injured while making that stop at their boyfriend or girlfriend's house. And the employer is going to say, very sorry that you're injured, and I don't have a problem that you take time off of work for your injury, but I'm not going to pay you for your time off, and I'm not going to pay you for your injury. And the person who's a delivery truck driver says, hey, I was punched in, I was making my deliveries, and I was injured. But the fact is the person deviated from their job duties, and that's one exception where it would not be considered, the injury would not be considered to have happened during the scope of employment.
Okay. What is the personal comfort doctrine?
So this is an interesting, again, this is finer details, and when you hire Claim Your Justice for a work-related injury, we'll handle all of this. I'm just trying to create content so that people could learn if it's in the middle of the night, or they may decide for some reason it's just too small of an injury. They don't want to hire a lawyer. They think they can do it themselves. So the personal comfort doctrine is where, let's say you have an employee that is working in a meat packing facility or a fish packing facility, for a better example. And that employee has worked a long shift, and now they want to clean up after work, and they want to take a shower at the shower facilities provided by their employer. So basically, they're at the plant, they finish their job, and they go to take a shower, and they're injured while taking the shower. They slip and fall, and they break their leg, or their wrist, or they crack their head on the ground. Well, the employer might try to say, hey, you weren't doing your job duties, just like we answered your question, Jessica, a few minutes ago. You're deviating from your job duties, no case. Well, the personal comfort doctrine was developed to say that's really not fair to the employee who's injured, and for the employer to get away with that. And if you're engaged in a activity for your own comfort that has some connection to the job you're doing, then it would fall into the personal comfort doctrine for coverage. Some of the other examples you may be thinking, Jessica, like what else? What's another example? So let's say you have a construction worker out on the job, and it's in the middle of summer, it's 90 degrees, and they want to go into an area that they could relieve themselves from some of the heat. They're sweating, it's hot, they've been working 6 hours in the heat and high humidity perhaps, and they want to seek relief from the heat. That may be deemed a personal comfort that they're using. Or you have someone hurt in the bathroom. Everyday example, office worker, factory worker. You're at an office, plant, factory, and you go to the bathroom. Well, while you're in the bathroom, something happens that causes you to be injured. You slip on the floor. There was a case where someone was flushing the toilet of the bathroom. I know it sounds funny. I know you may be giggling a little bit, but they're flushing the toilet. They hurt their rotator cuff. And how could you possibly hurt your rotator cuff flushing the toilet and expect that to be a workers' compensation case? Well, if the personal comfort facilities that are provided are defective, then you're going to be able to make a claim under workers' compensation. And one of the things that, again, I'm trying to keep the legal part out of it is to avoid all the technicalities. But what would happen is in that case, and Jessica, I should have provided you a question here at the top of page 2 to be what are the risk analysis, but let me say pretend you asked that question. So when I get that case and the employer makes the argument, I'm not covering this because it's not within the, what's our favorite word for workers' compensation?
Scope of employment.
Boom. Then the law provides 3 levels of risk analysis to review. I'll make that review of the risk analysis, make the argument, and explain to the employer why this particular case should be covered. I know we went kind of fast. Jessica, I thank you for your help. Everyone out there, remember, if you or a loved one, family member, coworker, injured in any type of accident, call us. Reach out to Claim Your Justice. We're here to help you. Been doing this a long time, more than 30 years. Even though it may look I've been doing it for 50 years, but we're here to protect our client's rights, maximize the recovery that the client makes. You can contact us at 888-88-KEITH. That's 888-885-3484. And remember, there's no fee for our charges. There's no fee for our services. Let me start that again. There's no fee for our services until we make a successful recovery on your case. Call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Reach out to us on the internet. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Claim Your Justice Facebook Live. Thank you, Jessica, for your wonderful assistance today.
Thank you. Bye.